넘어왔습니다. 네, 안녕하세요. 지금 오늘 개국해가지고 앞에 파운데이션부터 디플로마, 경영학, 공학 했고요. 이번에는 IT입니다. IT랑 컴퓨터 사이언스 관련해서 오늘 얘기 나눠드릴 거고요. 아무래도 이제 컴퓨터 사이언스랑 IT 관련된 거 유명한 학교들 대표적인 학교 중에 하나가 이제 호주 국립대학교 오스트레일리안 내셔널 유니버시티 있어서 오늘은 ANU에 그 컴퓨터 사이언스 패컬티에서 나오셨고요. 거기 패컬티 담당자님께서 소개를 지금 IT 학과랑 컴퓨터 사이언스 관련해서 공부하시려면 어떤 내용들이 필요한지에 대해서 조금 설명을 해주실 거고요. 역시나 트랜슬레이션 같이 해드릴 거니까, 그러니까 통역 같이 해드릴 거니까 궁금하신 부분 있으시면은 실시간 채팅이나 아니면 방송 이후에 보시는 분들 같은 경우에는 댓글 남겨주셔도 좋고요. 아니면 저희가 그 밑에 이메일 주소 같이 남겨놓을 테니까 그쪽으로 같이 연락해 주셔도 좋을 것 같습니다. 그러면은 지금 화면 바로 넘겨서 진행을 해보도록 하겠습니다. 잠시만요. Yeah, now I switch up the screen and then you guys start now.
Alright, perfect. Good afternoon, everyone.
Yeah, you can start.
My name is Akil, and I work at the ANU College of Engineering and Computer Science. Vijay, would you like to introduce yourself as well?
한국어로 해야 되나요? 소개?
네, 한국어로 하시면 됩니다.
네, 저는 지금 ANU 재학 중인 할 예정이고요. ANU 1학년으로 재학 중에 있습니다. 오늘 통역을 같이 하기로 했습니다.
Good.
Yeah.
Alright. So, in terms of today's presentation, what I usually like to do when I talk to students is to not make it, just PowerPoint and slides where I just keep talking, but more have a sort of discussion. And in terms of what we're going to cover today, I'll initially talk a little bit about the university, then I'll talk a little bit about computing at ANU, and then start to tell you a little bit about what we look for in students and how you can be a student at the ANU. Katrina, over to you.
오늘 프레젠테이션이나 이런 것보다는 말이랑 약간 그런 걸 위주로 설명을 하실 것 같고 ANU 컴퓨팅에 대해서 좀 그 자세한 설명이랑 학생으로서 어떻게 되는지를 설명하실 것 같습니다.
Perfect. I'm just going to share my screen. So it says my screen sharing has been disabled, Chris. Can you please help me with that?
Now you can do that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so like I said, I'll start with a brief introduction about the uni. Just let me know when you can see my full screen. Katrina, is that good? Can you see the whole screen?
Yeah.
Okay. So we were actually established in 1946, and we're the only Australian national university. So that means we were established by a federal act of parliament, and as the national university, we are committed towards bringing change, not only to the world, but also to Australia. And that is something that is especially important right now with the challenges that are facing the world. We're located in Canberra, which is Australia's capital city. A lot of students who've never been to Canberra, never heard about Canberra, think Sydney or Melbourne are the capital of Australia, but it's actually Canberra that is the capital city, and that's where we have our main campus located. Katrina?
일단 학교 자체가 1946년에 호주의 첫 국립대학교이자 지금 유일한 국립대학교로 호주 국립대가 있고 보통 첫 국립대학교이자 최초의 국립대학교이자 유일한 국립대학교로서 학교의 세계화나 약간 그런 거를 많이 노력하고 있는 학교이며 현재 많이 시드니나 멜번을 되게 유명한 도시라고 생각을 하셔서 잘 못 들어보셨을 수도 있는데 캔버라가 현재 호주의 수도이며 지금 ANU는 호주의 수도인 캔버라에 위치하여 있습니다.
In terms of the rankings, we're ranked number 1 in Australia according to US World Ranking. We feature really highly in terms of graduate employability as well. That's something that is very important to students who study with us, that they get jobs after they graduate. So we do really well in those rankings. a number of our subjects are also in the top 25 in the world, and of those, 13 of them are number one in Australia. The most important thing that I'd like to focus on is that we pride ourselves as being a research university. So we're research led. Many of our foundations are based on research, and 96% of broadfield research at ANU is rated above or well above world standards. So that speaks a lot about the quality and the caliber of the university.
호주에서 지금 현재 QS 랭킹에 따르면 제일 그 1등의 대학교이며 졸업 후 취업률도 상위 랭크에 차지하고 있습니다. 또 15개의 학부가 과목이 현재 탑 랭크에 있으며 그 중에 13개 과목은 호주 전체에서 1등이고 가장 중요하게 생각하시고 있는 것이 제일 강조하고 싶으신 것이 ANU의 그 연구에 관한 중요성을 되게 중요시하고 있는데 ANU 자체가 그래서 96% 이상이 현재 리서치 관련한 그거 그 96% 이상이며 이제 세계 평균보다도 훨씬 높은 수치를 기록하고 있습니다.
I spoke about us being research-led. One thing to let every student who is interested in studying at ANU know is that just because we say we're research-led doesn't mean we only do research over here. The reason why I mentioned research is just to let you know that a number of our academics have a significant portion of research that we do. And for you as a student who comes here to study, what that means is you don't just learn about stuff from textbooks, you also learn about research that our academics are working on. So you learn the latest stuff. It's also very common for your curriculum or your coursework to be, you'll be studying from textbooks which have been published by your own professors, and many professors across other universities use these textbooks as well.
그 리서치 기반의 그거를 되게 강조하시는 이유 중에 하나가 교과서뿐만 아니라 그 코스워크의 모든 것들이 다 정말 실제 연구를 바탕으로 이루어지는 학과들이 많고 실제로 교수님들이 쓰신 책이나 텍스트북의 같은 경우에도 강의를 하시는 교수님의 책을 실제로 이용하는 경우가 더 많고 그렇기 때문에 좀 더 학생들이 리서치 기반으로 코스워크를 진행하실 수 있다는 장점이 있습니다.
The advantage of having professors who are so deeply involved in research naturally means we have a lot of industry connections. We have people from the industry who come to us asking us to solve problems for which sometimes solutions don't exist, and we create these solutions. And the testimony to this is that ANU counts to 6 Nobel Laureates among our staff and alumni. The most popular person that I can talk about now is our Vice Chancellor, who's a Nobel Prize winner for his work in the field of astronomy and physics. You can see from some of the images below as well, a number of our staff hold currently a PhD, which talks about the quality, and we also have a number of facilities. I'll be talking about the facilities in some of the later slides, and research access to students who are interested in taking those pathways. So it makes for a really nice combination of research, academics, and industry exposure if you come to study at ANU.
일단 가장 대표적으로 이제 실제 필드에서 일을 하신다거나 그런 교수님들이 많은데 대표적으로는 저희 부총장님, 바이스 챈슬러 같은 경우에는 현재 실제 노벨상 수상자이셔서 천문 물리학 쪽 노벨상 수상자이시며 실제로 이렇게 스태프나 알럼나이들 동문분들께서 노벨상 수상자도 있으시며 현재 87%의 ANU 스태프의 경우는 PhD 학위를 갖고 계십니다. 또 학생들이 이제 수업이나 연구를 위해 접근 가능한 시설들이 되게 잘 갖추어져 있는 것도 ANU의 하나의 장점이라고 할 수 있습니다.
Alright, so now coming to the most important part, we've covered the university. Now we're going to talk about the College of Engineering and Computer Science at ANU, where computing is one of the degrees that is taught. So the most important thing that I'd like to tell everyone about is something called the Reimagine project. This is very important to the topic of discussion today. So that is, what do we need for students or from students who are interested in getting into IT? So the Reimagine project is actually the vision of our team at the College of Engineering and Computer Science. And the vision is that in the future, when our students graduate, we don't just want them to be relevant now. We don't just want them to find jobs now, but maybe 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, when machines and computers and artificial intelligence becomes the core of everything else and starts to make humans redundant, we still want our graduates to be relevant then. That is what the Reimagine project is about, and I'll just explain the 6 pillars after that. Just explain what I'm saying.
일단 오늘 토픽에서 가장 중요한 것 중에 하나가 Reimagine 프로젝트라고 얘기를 하셨는데, 이게 엔지니어링이나 이런 그쪽에서는 단지 현재의 것이 아니라 이제 AI나 그런 미래 그런 것들의 중요성이 있기 때문에 오늘 이거에 대한 6가지 스텝을 설명하신다고 하십니다.
So as I said, the project is actually a $350 million investment in the future of our students. And we've invested in 6 pillars. So the first one that you see on the top left, it's infrastructure. So we're working on giving our students a lot more world-class facilities, labs, study spaces where they can study. Second in the list would be people. So we will not only want to attract students, so you can see students on the list as well, but we also want to attract professors and academics and industry professionals that can be a part of this Reimagine project and add to our students' experience. On the top right, you see education. So we're working on creating transformational educational experiences for our students. So we offer a number of programs that are not offered anywhere else in Australia or sometimes in the world. For example, the Masters of Machine Learning and Computer Vision, we are the only Australian university to offer this at a postgraduate level. Apart from that, we offer humanitarian engineering. We're going to offer environment engineering. We have a course in photonics. So these are all programs that are not commonly seen. And the idea is to contribute to society and change the world. Engagement talks about university engagements and industry engagement. We want the best of both worlds for our students. And of course, I've been talking about research since we started today. We're still trying to push the boundaries. We do world-class research already, but we're constantly trying to push those boundaries further so that our students have the best experience in the end.
6개 중에 첫 번째는 일단 인프라스트럭처로 이제 학교의 랩이나 스터디 베이스 같은 이제 공부할 공간 이런 것을 잘 마련해 주었고, 사람 같은 경우에는 이제 학생들뿐만이 아니라 되게 전문적인 교수님들과 이러한 것들을 통해 교육을 더 잘 할 수 있는 그런 기반을 만들어 두었고, 에듀케이션의 경우에도 그러니까 엔지니어링이라고 해서 엔지니어링뿐만이 아니라 다른 이제 휴머니티, 특히 인문학이나 이런 것들에 관련해서 합쳐진 교육을 많이 제공하려고 하고 있습니다. 특히 이게 ANU에서만 가능한 것 중에 하나라고 말씀을 하시네요. 인게이지먼트의 경우에도 마찬가지로 그냥 단순히 그냥 프로그램이 아니라 엔지니어링 프로그램이 아니라 더 학생들을 발전할 수 있는 그런 것들을 해주셨고, 리서치는 아까 충분히 말씀을 하셨다고 얘기하셨고, 스튜던트의 경우에도 그냥 이제 많은 도메스틱뿐만이 아니라 인터내셔널 등등 해서 여러 범위의 학생들을 포괄하고 있다고 말씀하셨습니다.
So I won't talk much about this slide. This one just talks about where we are. So right now we're in 2020. We've just launched the program, and it's a very long program. So we're going to do a lot of different steps to be a part of this. But now coming to computer science at ANU, why should we, as a student, so in your case, why would you as a student want to come to study at ANU? What is special about ANU and what makes it different from any other university? So these are just a few points. So the first thing is that we actually are involved in a lot of different work around what robots are going to do in the future. We have really strong strengths in machine learning, in artificial intelligence, and in computing that is going to decide what happens in the future. So we're involved in the safe and sustainable development of artificial intelligence so that we know the machines that become self-aware, that machines that can learn are not going to harm humans, are going to be sustainably designed, are going to be for the benefit of humanity. You know?
왜 꼭 컴퓨터 사이언스를 ANU, 다른 대학이 아니라 ANU에서 해야 하는지 첫 번째 이유를 설명을 해주셨는데, ANU의 경우에는 현재 로봇이나 이런 실제 머신 러닝에 대해 더 이제 기계적으로 배울 수 있는 그런 기회를 제공하고, 특히 AI나 이제 그런 지속 가능한 기계 머신 러닝을 제공하고 있습니다.
We also play a very major role in the future development. You can see that ANU is part of the World Wide Web Consortium, Australia office. So we do a lot of work in that space. There's a few stats on rankings. So we're ranked top 5 in Australia, top 75 in the world according to the Shanghai World Ranking, that's ARWU ranking. And QS ranks us as number 2 in Australia and number 41 in the world for computer systems and information. So that's the latest 2020 rankings. Apart from that, I spoke about world-class research. We also have access to Gaudi, which is Australia's most powerful supercomputer. You as students will have access to this supercomputer. So that's a really good option for you if you're interested in the field of theoretical computer science or you want to learn about databases. You have access to the fastest supercomputer in the southern hemisphere at the ANU campus. Apart from that, we constantly break barriers in terms of algorithms and signal processing, in systems and control as a leader in that particular space. So that's some of the strongest areas of computing at ANU.
일단 컴퓨터 사이언스 엔지니어링으로 QS 올해 랭킹에 따르면 세계적으로는 일단 탑 75등 안에 들고 호주 내에 5등 안에 들고 있으며, 컴퓨터 사이언스 특히 인포메이션 시스템스는 호주 안에서 2등을 기록하고 있습니다. 특히 또 ANU는 아까도 계속 얘기하셨다시피 리서치 중심의 학교인 것이 가장 큰 장점 중에 하나이고, 현재 가디라고 호주의 가장 유명하고 강력한 슈퍼컴퓨터에 대한 접근이 가능한 게 ANU의 지금 컴퓨터 사이언스의 장점입니다. 또 알고리즘이나 뭐 어플라이드 프로세싱이라고 얘기를 하셨는데, 시그널 프로세싱 이런 쪽에서 다 ANU는 모두 가능하다고 말씀하셨습니다.
So these are some images of the things I was talking about. So Gaudi is the supercomputer. We're very well known for robotics and drones. So if you're interested in applying your computer science knowledge to that, we do that as well. Another really important thing is you can be enrolled in the fields of renewable energy, which is a really hot topic right now. You can apply your knowledge of computing to renewable energy, and we're flexible in allowing students to do that as well. Or if you're interested in developing nanomaterials that help in the field of computing, that's an option for you as well if you're interested in that field of research.
네, 저 이제 이미지로 보신 게 아까 말씀드렸던 슈퍼컴퓨터 가디랑, 이제 또 가장 하나 강조하고 싶으신 게 이제 재생 가능한 에너지에 관심이 있다면, 실제로 그거에 대한 연구도 많이 진행되고 있기 때문에 관심이 있다면은 네, 그것도 가능하다고 얘기를 하셨습니다.
So these are just some images of some of our students. We'll be sharing this presentation with you afterwards. You can read about why they chose to study computing at ANU. But what I'd primarily like to talk to you about is some of our different programs. I'm just going to focus on 3 programs on the right-hand side, which is the Bachelor of Advanced Computing, the Bachelor of Software Engineering, and the Bachelor of Information Technology. The Bachelor of Advanced Computing R&D is a version of the Bachelor of Advanced Computing, and I'll talk about that as well. You can also see at the bottom some images of the Group of 8. The Group of 8 is like the Ivy League of universities in the United States. IARU would be the International Association of Research Universities, and that includes universities like Oxford, Yale, and Cambridge, and we're a part of that organization as well. We're the only Australian university to be a part of the International Association of Research Universities. And then these are few of our research connections, our industry connections. So you can see some big names there where our students go to intern. Some of these companies come to our campus. So it's just good information to know. And the most important would be, you can see a little logo to the right side of each of the program names called ACS. ACS stands for Australian Computer Society. What this means is our degrees are accredited by the Australian Computer Society, which enables you to not only work anywhere in Australia, but your degree will be recognized anywhere in the world. If you choose to go back to, say, somewhere in Asia, or if you want to go to Europe, or you want to go to the United States, your degree will still be recognized. You can get jobs, or you can apply to study a master's program or a PhD. All of it will be recognized.
네, 가능한 이제 전공 중에 저 세 가지를 일단 강조를 하고 싶어 하셨었고, Advanced Computing의 두 개, R&D랑 Honors랑 Software Engineering까지 얘기를 하셨고, Information Technology까지 얘기를 하셨습니다. IARU 같은 경우에는 이제 International Association of Research University라고 해서 ANU뿐만이 아니라 옥스퍼드, 예일, 이제 세계 유명 대학들도 포함되어 있는 그런 거라고 얘기를 하셨고, 특히 저 옆에 세계 ACS가 써 있는 과목들의 경우는 이제 호주 컴퓨터 소사이어티에서 실제로 인정받은 그런 학과들이며 이 학과들은 이제 졸업을 하게 되면은 호주에서뿐만이 아니라 유럽 그쪽에서도 인정을 받을 수 있는 거라고 얘기를 하셨습니다.
So what are the different programs that you can choose? So I'm just going to go back to this slide. So the Bachelor of Advanced Computing, Software Engineering, and the Bachelor of IT are three very similar programs, but they're also very different. So the Bachelor of Advanced Computing deals with more theory of computing, back-end coding, how to build the foundation of software systems, and things like that. So you're working more on the back end of systems when you graduate with this degree. The Bachelor of Software Engineering is more front-facing. So you work on website development, you work on software development, you work on developing apps, and things like that. So this course teaches you to do that. And then the Bachelor of Information Technology is a 3-year program, as opposed to the other two being 4-year program, where you have the opportunity to pick courses from any field that you like. So from either advanced computing or software engineering, you can pick courses and combine that to make your Bachelor of Information Technology degree. And it's more focused towards the business side of things. So now what do you do with apps? What do you do with, say, service platforms, the websites? What is the technology side of the business application? So that is what the Bachelor of Information Technology teaches. So for students who are more interested in becoming, say, a business analyst or software architects or that sort of roles, I would suggest a Bachelor of Information Technology. For students who are more interested in development side of things, app development, software development, I'd suggest Bachelor of Software Engineering. And for students who want to know the main core of computing and learn coding and the back end and databases and those sort of things, I would suggest the Bachelor of Advanced Computing. I will talk more about each of these, but over to Katrina.
어드밴스 컴퓨팅이랑 소프트웨어 엔지니어링이랑 인포메이션 테크놀로지 세 개는 모두 비슷해 보이지만 각각 다 다른 걸 다른 걸 공부한다고 얘기를 하셨고, 첫 번째 어드밴스 컴퓨팅의 경우에는 실제 컴퓨팅에 관한 이론들을 다루는 학과라고 하셨습니다. 예를 들어 데이터베이스나 실제 코딩과 같은 진짜 메인 파트를 공부하고 싶으신 분들은 어드밴스 컴퓨팅을 선택하시면 된다고 하셨고, 소프트웨어 엔지니어링 같은 경우에 말 그대로 웹사이트나 이제 앱 개발이나 이런 거를 관심이 있는 분들은 이 전공을 선택하면 된다고 하셨습니다. 마지막으로 IT 인포메이션 테크놀로지의 경우는 이러한 모든 것들을 선택하여 경영적으로 어떻게 이용할 수 있는지 활용법에 대해 공부하고 싶으신 분들, 실제 그 웹사이트나 앱을 통해서 어떻게 이걸 경영적으로 이용할 수 있는지를 공부하고 싶으면 인포메이션 테크놀로지를 선택하면 된다고 하셨습니다.
So I'll just very briefly talk about these different majors and specialization. So depending on which program you enroll at ANU, so that might be advanced computing, software engineering, or information technology, you can pick different subjects within these to become a major or to specialize in those particular areas. So intelligent systems actually is sort of, it deals with artificial intelligence, deals with machine learning, it deals with computer vision. So basically in this particular major, you deal with intelligent agents and you teach computers to do things that they would not normally be able to do. So let me give you an example. You can probably teach a computer to recognize the difference between a dog and a cat. How do you do this? You feed it millions of images of dogs and cats, and then over a period of time, the computer itself is able to recognize what is a dog and what is a cat when you feed the next image. So there you've taught it how to recognize dogs and cats. This is actually quite different to having a software that can detect a dog or a cat. So that's quite different. Here you're gradually teaching. So the more images you feed it or the more data you feed it of dogs and cats, the more accurate its prediction becomes. So that has stuff to do with the intelligence system. It has a lot of different applications as well. So your driver safety system, automatic cars, some applications in the medical field are all under intelligence systems and artificial. Katrina?
먼저 그 아까 말씀드린 그런 전공들, 학위들에서 이제 어떤 수업을 들을지 어떤 세부적인 전공을 할지 정할 수가 있는데 첫 번째는 인텔리전트 시스템으로 실제 그 AI와 관련한 거나 이제 머신 러닝에 대해 배우는 그런 메이저가 하나 있고 이거의 경우 예를 들면 이제 예로 드신 것은 어떻게 기계가 이제 개랑 고양이를 그 구분하는지에 관련해서 예를 들어 뭐 데이터가 더 많아질수록 더 정확해진다 이런 거를 공부하고 실제 이런 것들을 뭐 의학이나 이런 다른 분야에도 어떻게 적용시킬 수 있는지를 공부할 수 있는 메이저입니다.
Okay, so the next one would be systems and architecture. So this one has quite a bit of stuff to do with more around databases and how you build computer systems and the software and hardware side of things. So what are the different implications of designing computers, designing your phone, your chips on the computers that help you perform better. So the systems and architecture deals with the hardware and software side of things and how you push your boundaries in terms of developing new systems and new architecture that constantly develops our computers today. So you can imagine 10 years ago we were in a different place and now we're in a different place. Your phone can probably outperform what your best computer would do 10 years ago, and that's a result of the developments in systems.
네, 두 번째 메이저는 Systems and Architecture라는 메이저인데 이건 실제로 컴퓨터 시스템을 만들고 데이터베이스를 만드는 그런 얘기를 하셨습니다. 실제로 폰이나 컴퓨터에 들어가는 칩을 디자인한다거나 정말 이제 설계하고 만드는 그런 메이저라고 얘기를 하셨습니다.
And the last one would be theoretical computer science. Already spoken about this. This has more to do with the back end of stuff. So you learn about code, you learn about algorithms, why are things the way they are in the world of computing, and how do you change these things through algorithms, through logic, and through developing new algorithms and things like that. So theoretical computer science deals more with the very back end and the most foundational part of computing, and it involves a lot of code. You learn more about different languages, what are the implications of these languages in computing if you take up this major. So this is for students who are more interested in understanding and working on the foundations of computing.
세 번째는 Theoretical Computer Science인데 이거는 실제 아까 말씀드렸던 코딩이나 컴퓨터 알고리즘에 대해 배우고 그 알고리즘이나 코딩을 이제 어떻게 논리에 따라 바꿀 수 있는지랑 실제 이제 컴퓨터 시스템의 기반을 공부하는 가장 기본적인 컴퓨터 시스템의 가장 기본적인 부분이라고 얘기하셨습니다.
The next four topics I don't really need to talk about. So data science, that's one of the hottest topics in every field now. So they say data is worth its worth in gold or worth its worth in petrol. That's the most expensive commodity right now. So data science is one of the other majors that we teach. Information systems is again the applications, the business side of things I was talking about earlier. So what you see, for example, Zoom would be an information system because that's something that we use. It has a backend, it has a lot of computing foundations, but then what we are getting as end users is the Zoom platform. And people who manage this would have done the information systems major. Software development, again, don't need to say anything. And cybersecurity, of course, one of the biggest topics in the world right now. With the data being such an important commodity, it's important to secure it, to have it safe. And cybersecurity deals with that as well. So these four are the other majors of specialization that we offer as part of our program.
그 나머지 세 개는 약간 빨리빨리 말씀을 하셔서 Information Systems 데이터 4개 데이터 사이언스는 요즘 그냥 가장 중요한 것 중에 하나고 어려운 것 중에 하나라고 얘기를 하셨고 가장 이제 가치 있는 그런 것 중에 하나라고 얘기를 하셨고 인포메이션 시스템스 같은 경우는 아까 말씀했던 거랑 비슷하다고 얘기를 하셔서 이제 예를 들면 줌 같은 경우에도 컴퓨팅에 관한 걸 이용해서 어떻게 이걸 활용할 수 있는지 플랫폼을 제공하고 이런 거에 대해 얘기를 하셨고 소프트웨어 디벨롭먼트도 마찬가지로 아까랑 말씀하신 거랑 비슷하게 얘기를 하고 넘어가셨는데 이제 사이버 시큐리티 같은 경우에는 가장 최근에 세계적으로도 가장 이제 중요하게 여겨지는 것 중에 하나라고 얘기를 하시면서 정보 자체가 중요해지면서 이러한 보안이나 이런 게 중요해진 것에 대해 얘기를 하시면서 중요성, 이 공부의 중요성까지 같이 얘기하셨어요.
Right. So apart from that, I'd very quickly say that we offer similar degrees in the Masters of Computing, in the Masters of Applied Data Analytics, and the Masters of Machine Learning and Computer Vision. This is more advanced. It's for students who finish their undergraduate degree and then want to take up a master's. No translation required here. The research areas are very similar as well, with different topics that we already cover in the coursework that students can take up. And any student who's interested in taking up research projects has the opportunity to take up research projects in any of these different areas.
리서치 분야 같은 경우에도 아까 코스워크에서 이제 수업 메이저에 관련해서 얘기하셨던 거랑 다 비슷하고 실제 이거에 관해 연구가 다 모두 가능하다고 얘기를 하셨습니다. 아까 말한 거랑 내용 자체는 비슷합니다.
I've already covered many of the facilities. The most important topic, and I think this is the last topic that we will talk about, is the practical experience side of things. So our students don't just do research, they don't just have a research approach, but they also have practical experience. They have opportunities to engage with industry. So one of the main things I'd like to talk about is the Tech Launcher project. So the Tech Launcher is actually a program that is a combination of three people. So that's the university, its industry, and the government. So you can see in this image over here, every semester actually, we have the Tech Launcher project where industry people come and give our students real life projects and ask them to solve it. So over 6 months, as one of your courses, you will have a chance to work on a real project and make a real impact. Your projects can be from public sector, it can be from private sector, it can be from research labs, it can be from social enterprises, startups, any different sources. And you will form a team and work on this particular project and work with your industry partners to deliver something that can cause real change. Many of our students convert this opportunity into jobs, and then the other benefit is if you have an idea for a startup, you can present it as a project and get people to work on it and build that idea and build your own startup as well. And we have a number of successful startups in Canberra that have come out of this project.
이제 그 리서치뿐만이 아니라 이 학과의 공부를 통해 실제 실용적으로 어떻게 경험을 쌓을 수 있는지에 얘기를 하시면서 가장 대표적인 프로그램인 테크런처에 대해 얘기를 하셨는데 실제로 이제 엔지니어링 학생들의 경우는 6개월에 한 번 정도 가능하다면 이제 학교, 정부, 실제 산업의 협력을 통해 실제 이제 프로젝트를 진행하는 프로그램을 하고 있는데 이런 경우 학생들이 실제 아이디어가 있다면 그거를 이제 스타트업이나 혹은 사회적 기업 등등 여러 정부 기관 등과의 협력을 통해 실제 아이디어를 프레젠팅하고 그거를 실제로 이제 이루어 나가는 그런 프로젝트가 있어서 이런 거에 대해 학생들이 좀 더 실제 경험을 쌓을 수 있는 기회를 제공하고 있습니다.
There's a few more images and a few links attached in the presentation that will be shared with you. So please make sure that you go through it. Lastly, I would like to talk a little bit about our student associations. They organize a number of career fairs each semester. They organize networking sessions with industry. They have talks where you have people from industry coming in, delivering, keynote lectures to our students. And apart from that, it's not just all study and serious work all the time. There's some time for fun as well. So they organize barbecues, they organize gaming nights, there's pizza nights, there's staff versus student games, and they also help you build your networks with a nicely networked and a like-minded cohort. So it's a nice way to get to know. So I would suggest, you can see some images below. If you come here to ANU as a student, do get involved with these
이제 마지막으로 소개하실 거는 Student Associations라고 이제 과별로 있는 약간 동아리 같은 건데 커리어 페어 같이 이제 직업적인 그런 면에서도 많이 도움을 주고 또 그냥 단순히 이제 커리어나 이런 것뿐만이 아니라 소셜 이벤트 같은 경우를 진행해서 모두 BBQ나 이제 같이 하는 게임 나잇이나 이런 거에 참여해서 실제 재미로도 많이 좋은 장점을 얻을 수 있는 것 중에 하나의 활동입니다. 또 이제 스포츠 경기나 이런 것도 다 제공을 하고 있고 이제 학교 수업이나 관련돼서 이런 멘티 시스템을 통해서 도움을 얻을 수 있는 그러한 경로라고 얘기를 하셨습니다.
Lastly, for you guys to look at in the slides, there's a few topics on what sort of employability support we offer. We offer a number of different features for our students. We help you find jobs, we help you look for applications and interviews, we help you prepare your CVs. All of this is offered as services from the ANU free of cost if you become a student at the ANU. And it's something that I really encourage students to look up as a resource for when they are here with us. Apart from that, I've already mentioned many of our industry partners and a few slides on some of the companies that have been hiring our students in the past, which you might find useful as well. So you can see from here that it's not just computing companies. Many of our students go into management consulting, some of them go on to do PhDs, some work with government. It's completely dependent, and the degree that we provide you with will prepare you go down a career path that you are interested in. So it's not that you have to come here, study computing and then work in computing. You have many options open to you. So I guess there's not much left. So just a few other images for you to look at. Just letting you know that as an international student in Canberra, it's a very multicultural place. It's an inclusive environment. It's a small city, so that makes it lesser distractions. There's a lot of outdoor things to do. The campus itself is very vibrant. There's a lot that goes on throughout the year. Unfortunately now, because of COVID, we've shifted to virtual modes for everything, but we're still trying to keep our community engaged. We have very strong student associations that I spoke about. And I would say, so I've been in Canberra for 5 years and I love it. And I think as a student to come here and study here, and if you choose to live here, it's great, but you also have the opportunity to live anywhere else in the world with a great world-class education that ANU gives you. So I would definitely encourage US students to consider taking up this program. And we have a number of different images and links on this presentation that will be shared with you. So I'd encourage you to look at that as well. But I just have one last slide to finish up, but before that, maybe you can follow this one.
아까 빨리 넘어가신 게 이제 employment opportunities 해서 그 취업이나 이런 거 관련해서 ANU 스튜던트가 되면은 실제 많은 정보를 제공하고 있고 많은 이제 산업 파트너를 있는 게 ANU의 장점이라고 얘기를 하셨고 그 이후에는 이제 그렇기 때문에 컴퓨팅 사이언스를 전공한다고 해서 거기에만 국한되는 것이 아니라 여러 가지 옵션 뭐 경영 매니지먼트 쪽으로도 가는 경우가 있고 많은 그런 거가 있다고 얘기를 하셨고 다 PPT에 제대로 나와 있는 거 확인하시면 된다고 얘기를 하셨습니다. 특히 이제 그 이후에는 국제 학생으로서 올해는 코로나 때문에 좀 덜 했지만 캔버라에서 국제 학생으로 사는 것이 되게 좋다고 얘기를 하셨고 이제 본인도 5년 동안 캔버라에 사시면서 되게 학교 생활을 즐겁게 할 수 있으셨다고 얘기를 하셨습니다. 이 모든 것들이 이제 사진과 함께 PPT에 제공될 예정이니 확인하시면 좋겠다고 얘기를 하셨습니다.
Right, so there's a few slides on our contact emails and some of our social pages. You can go and look at some of our videos that we've created with our students, of our campus, of our facilities. I really encourage you to do that. I also encourage you to email us on international.kex@anu.edu.au. Any questions you have, whether it's regarding the program, about living here, about accommodation, any questions you have, we're more than happy to take your questions. And of course, there's a number of different links on each of our programs as well. You can go in and have a look about what I spoke today, specifically about the different courses that will form your program of interest. So maybe Bachelor of Advanced Computing, you want to know what courses you can do. what the specializations are, you can go on this website and have a look. And lastly, we have every single thing that I spoke about today on one single page, which is the KEX International Students page. So KEX means the College of Engineering and Computer Science. This page has information about how to apply, what our requirements are, some student profiles, we have some webinars, we have latest news, everything will be on this page. So go in and have a look at that as well.
이제 아까 이메일이랑 웹사이트 주소 알려주셨는데 거기서 이제 퀘스천 질문이 있으면 글로 이제 해주시면 된다고 하셨고 이제 인터내셔널 스튜던트 페이지 캑스게 따로 있는데 이제 캑스는 ANU에서 이제 한국으로 치면 단과대 같은 거라서 거기서 이제 모든 정보들을 얻으실 수 있다고 이 링크를 주셨습니다.
So I guess I'll finish off with the last slide of Cambridge, which is our central precinct. This is where all of the action happens. Again, this is a new project that has recently come up. We have student accommodations, we have a gym, we have cafes, study spaces, restaurants, places to just hang out, and generally a nice place to be right in the center of the ANU. And if you come here as students, you'll have a chance to experience this as well. So with that, I think I'm going to wrap up my presentation and open the floor to questions if there are any. If not, I guess thank you for listening, and we look forward to hearing you. Katrina?
마지막으로 캠브리 설명하시면서 여기가 학교 가장 중앙 광장으로 이제 여러 가지 시설들이 갖춰져 있는 새 거예요. 제가 다녀본 결과 정말 좋고 이제 질문 있으시면 질문 받는다고 얘기하시고 안 그러면 이제 랩업 하신다고 하셨습니다.
There is no question on the live chat loop, so I think you guys make a conclusion and thanks for today.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks for organizing. If you have any students who come back with any questions, or if you guys have any questions, more than happy to take them. And Katrina, thank you so much for your patience and for translating. I will be in touch with you for any future events that we have, and I promise to send you the slides earlier.
Thank you.
All right. Have a good afternoon. Yeah.
Thank you.
I guess that's it. Thanks, Chris. Bye bye.
지금까지 이제 ANU 대학교에서 이제 IT랑 컴퓨터 사이언스 관련해서 설명드렸고요. 저는 개인적으로 보통 컴퓨터 사이언스랑 인포메이션 테크놀로지랑 뭐 이런 것들의 차이점을 크게 몰랐었는데 그런 부분을 하나 잡아주셔서 되게 좀 도움되는 시간이었던 것 같습니다. 그럼 다음번에 지금 조금 있다가 다음이 의대인가요?